In this video, we're going to be talking about the Galaxy A14 5G 6 months later. Before I start this video, I'd like to give a huge shout out to the sponsor of today's video, Poetic. They offer a variety of cases and have something for every type of person. And particularly for the Galaxy A14, they have two types of cases. The first is their Guardian line. This case not only lets you show off your new phone with its transparent back, but also gives you the option to wear a screen protector as well as covers for the ports at the bottom of the phone, making this perfect for anyone that goes hiking regularly or maybe works at a job doing manual labor such as construction, keeping dust and debris out of your headphone jack and charging port effectively. The last is the big boy, and that is the Revolution case. This case offers full body military standard drop protection, the choice of a screen protector or an extra front frame for people who don't like screen protectors, as well as a pull-out kickstand for hands-free viewing in portrait or landscape mode. All of these cases are offered at a great affordable price, and if you'd like to pick up any of them, I'll leave a link in the description down below. Another huge shout out to Poetic for sponsoring today's video. Alright everybody, so the Galaxy A14 5G 6 months later, how has this phone held up? How is it doing so far? I have a few things to talk about this device. So a couple things that I don't really like about this device, and obviously this is kind of being a little nitpicky, but the things that I haven't liked over the duration of the 6 months has been the cheap build. This does look like the Galaxy A54, but it does not feel like the Galaxy A54. This is going to be, of course, a completely plastic build. It doesn't feel insanely cheap, especially for today's standards. I know just a few years ago we had devices that just felt absolutely terrible, but that was one of the things I didn't like about this, just the build on this device. I think it looks nice, honestly, but the build isn't that great. Also, the bezels on here, we have a 6.6-inch display. I think it's a beautiful display, and it's one of the best things about this device that we're going to obviously talk about in a second, but the bezels are really big on this. I was hoping they were going to change the teardrop notch, and I'm hoping they do that on the Galaxy A15. That would be beautiful to see, but the notch on this, the bezels on this, thick bezels, and of course the build just makes this device feel cheap, which honestly is really nitpicky of me. This device is only $199 unlocked, and I think we got a lot of great stuff in this device for that price tag. One other thing that I didn't really like is the keyboard on this device. I think the haptic feedback is fine for most people, but the keyboard for me, especially used to more mid-range or flagship devices, really felt kind of wonky. It definitely felt a little more weak. So those are two big things that I hope they fix on the Galaxy A15 5G next year. But those are honestly not really big deals about this device. I feel like anybody trying to find a device for $199 is absolutely going to be pleased with this device, and I'll be telling you why right now. So first and foremost, the display is great, and I didn't even realize how high the pixel density was. I may have mentioned the pixel density or the display a few times in my reviews of this device, but this display is of course 2400 by 1080p, 20:9 aspect ratio, kind of bad screen to body ratio, as I said before, 80.45%. But the thing that they get right is, of course, we have a 90 hertz refresh rate on this display, as well as a 399 ppi, so that's 399 pixels per inch. Really pixel dense budget phone, honestly. And that was one of the things that surprised me about this phone. Watching things like Netflix and of course Hulu and YouTube and stuff has absolutely been a joy. Going on social media has been great as well. So you guys are gonna have no issues with the display of this. I think it's been great so far. The speaker on this has been fine as well. It's not the greatest of all time. Obviously, we don't have stereo speakers on this device, but I think they are decent enough. And the great thing is we actually do still have a headphone jack in 2023 on this device. So that was one of the things that I really liked about this device, and it kind of made it the complete package for somebody that wanted to transfer from the Galaxy A12, say, to the Galaxy A14. Another thing that I really liked about this device that just really sold it for me had to be the 2 years of operating system updates and the 4 years of security patches. So not only do we get 2 full years and Android 13 outside the box, so we're going to go from Android 13 to Android 15, but we also get 4 years of security updates, making this device future-proof all the way up until 2027. If you guys really want to hold out and you don't want to spend a ton of money on a phone, for $199, you're still going to be getting updates in the year of 2027. So that's always great to see. The support on Samsung devices is usually pretty good, and I think that's one of the reasons this phone is the best-selling phone of 2023, and it just keeps reoccurring each year the best-selling phone of 2022, 2021. Samsung's just been pushing out gold in their Galaxy A series devices. Now, as far as the processor on this device, it's honestly been holding up very, very well with One UI. I absolutely love the skin they put over Android on this device, and I think that's a big reason why people buy Samsung devices. One thing, however, that I think would be a holdup for some people that they wouldn't purchase this device is it only has 64 gigabytes of internal storage. Obviously, with games like Genshin Impact, that game by itself is a little over 20 gigabytes of internal storage. So once this phone is booted up and everything is said and done, you probably have about 48 gigabytes of internal storage, and taking almost half of those away is kind of gut-wrenching for some people. Obviously, you can expand the storage. We do have a micro SD card slot in here that's shared with, of course, the SIM. So if you guys did want to take photos on this, you can pop your SD card inside of here. But that was one of the things that I didn't like. So if you guys are thinking about downloading many different applications, many different games, this may not be the phone for you. But all in all, for $199, still in the middle of June or the beginning of June 2023, I believe this is a decent device still. Absolutely love this device for $199. So the verdict is yes, I still think this is a decent buy 6 months later in 2023. Absolutely enjoyed this device. Obviously, we can still play games like Call of Duty Mobile and PUBG and have a decent amount of space left, but this is more so for the media consumer. So anyone that does light gaming, scrolls through social media, watches YouTube videos, texts, makes phone calls, this is going to be a decent phone for anybody that needs something pretty basic. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. Do you have the Galaxy A14 5G? If so, have you been enjoying this device? I'd love to know. But this has been Safon from TechRight. Hopefully you guys have a beautiful day. Peace out, Tech.